Welcome to the All In Employee Podcast with your hosts R. Scott Russell and Kevin Gergel, the Vice Presidents of CA Short Company. To learn more about Scott or Kevin, visit cashort.com. Now, on with the show. Kevin, we're back for another show right here on the All In Employee Podcast. Here in the, it's summertime has arrived, my friend. It has arrived.
It sure has. Summertime makes me think of school out, considering I've got two kids at home now, fighting every day. Makes me think of summer vacation, and it makes me think of heat because we've had a lot of heat lately.
Oh man, it's been hot here.
Oof, you put that all together, and it's a recipe for disengagement in the workplace because you've got a lot going on, you got a lot of distractions. So it makes me think, how do we keep our employees engaged during this season? And I really love what we've come up with at CA Short at our own building and within our own culture.
I did too. And I like how, we're constantly trying to keep things fresh, right? Keep things moving along, especially with the challenges of this year. So we've done some interesting things here and we've got some interesting things coming up as well. So I'm really excited about that too. I love summertime. I love the sunshine, but guess what, Kevin, we've got some great guests who actually had snow I think right about a month or so ago, actually got some late May snow, if I remember correctly. And so I'm really excited to bring them on and we'll talk about the weather with them and we'll talk about some other great things with them as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome today is Miss Shelley Lubick and Caitlin Trever from Adams County Government out near Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be here.
Yes. Hey, we're thrilled to have you.
Welcome. It's not every day, Scott, we get to talk to All In Award winners.
That's right.
So it's an extra special podcast episode today.
We're excited. We got award winners in the house. Well, it's sort of in the house. They're in the house of Zoom.
In the virtual house. Yeah.
In the virtual house with us. And we're so excited. Haven't got to see, we saw you guys at at the event in March. And of course, I see you when I get to come up your way, but you are right outside of Denver, right? Just right outside of Denver. So tell us a little bit about, let's start that off right off the bat. Tell us a little bit about Adams County Government, where you're at, sort of what you're, charged with, what kind of groups you get to work with, et cetera.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks so much for that, that welcome introduction. So just a little bit about Adams County. So as a county, we were established in 1902. So we've been around the block, been around for quite some time. We are actually the 5th largest county in Colorado and one of the fastest growing counties, not only in the state, but also in the country. So we are a little bit further northeast of the Denver area. So we house kind of 13 cities and towns, and then we've got 3 kind of unincorporated, more rural areas that we help serve. So our county itself is almost 760,000 acres. So it's 17 miles wide by 72 miles long. So it's a very, how we're situated within the state is very interesting kind of map there if you ever feel the need to look it up. But we are a very large county and we serve about a population of 520,000 residents.
All right. You know what? And I know Shelley can attest to this, that when I first got to come visit, you have probably the most beautiful government building I've ever seen in my life. That county seat building is just gorgeous. Just metal horse art outside. I just found it to be like the most beautiful place. Like it's just beautiful to come to work there. It just looks beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful place to work. We opened the building about 11 years ago, and it carries an agricultural theme throughout. So you'll see a lot of waves and just very like lines that demonstrate rows. It's agricultural theme for sure. Very it's a beautiful building.
Yeah, very, very well done. And like I said, coming into this, I think you guys got some snow not long ago while we were burning up in the South down here with 100-degree temps. You guys, it was snowing in Denver. Y'all get some of the craziest weather I've ever seen.
It is definitely, yeah, very strange, very unpredictable, but at the same time, I think a day or two before that late kind of spring snowstorm, it was about 90 degrees. So it
Yep,
went from 90
that's what I
degrees
remember
to about
seeing.
30 degrees. So a little stark difference there.
I know. It's like, how do you prepare for that? Like, how do you know?
You always have a coat.
Is that just how it works?
Layers. Yeah.
You just always bring a
Always
coat.
have one. Well, we always joke when I get to come I usually come in January, February, and normally there's at least a blizzard, if not two, when I'm there. I have never driven in what I drive in when I come to that area, but man, it's so beautiful. I mean, I know for you folks that live there, probably seeing the mountains every day, things like that, you get kind of used to it. But for a person like me, it's just such a beautiful area, and just the views you see, driving to work are just stunning, right? Stunning to me. So very, very interesting place, very interesting place. And again, let's talk a little bit about, because we got you on here today, we're going to be talking a little bit about engagement and recognition, because engagement is a big deal there at Adams County. And you guys really have a marvelous recognition engagement program. It is very robust. It covers many different subjects. And we want to talk a little bit about that today. So tell us a little bit about maybe that path. Like, how did you come along from a government perspective? I'd love to see more government entities actually really focus on engagement and recognition. But why was that important at Adams County? And how did this program come about?
Sure. I can kick us off, and Shelley, feel free to jump in.
Sure.
In case I miss anything here, but
Sure.
Our kind of vision as a county is to be the most inclusive and innovative county in America, which is a very, very lofty mission statement and goal of our organization, but it's something that we definitely strive to be and to become. And one of our other kind of big goals the last couple years in particular is to be an employer of choice. And so with that, I think recognition plays a huge role. And so we've always kind of had some sort of formal Employee of the Month program as far back as I can remember, or at least as long as I've been here. I think Shelley could probably attest to that too. I think traditionally we all had to start somewhere with recognizing people. Right. And so generally those Employer of the Month type programs really recognized folks for a job well done. So it was very productive based or task oriented versus something additional that a team member was contributing. And the more that we have grown and changed over time, not only just our population, the programs that we serve, the culture that we're trying to create, then our recognition program also needed to evolve to support that. So we, several years back, conducted focus groups to identify what was working or what we needed to improve on in our current recognition program. And what we learned from there is that our leaders had no budget for recognition. And so they found it difficult to recognize staff in real time or give them some sort of tangible items. And we learned that oftentimes they were using money from their own pocket to recognize their staff, because at that time they knew how important it was right. To be able to give that to their team members. And so with that, then we're super fortunate to have an executive leadership team and a board of county commissioners that feel that recognition is just as important as we do. Oftentimes I think in the world of human resources, we know how important it is. It's just convincing other people that it's also important. And so to have their support, I think, is what has helped to get us where we are today. And so in, gosh, was it May of 2019? I now have no concept of time with the pandemic, but I believe it was May of 2019 that we launched.
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. Thanks, Shelley. I thought so, but who knows at this point. Yeah. It feels like it's so integrated into our culture now. It's hard to distinguish like what it was before, but we launched our People Are Everything platform, and we kind of called it it's culture in action. So that was kind of our tagline for our organization. And that's kind of what fit with kind of the strategy and what we were looking at as we implemented this new kind of recognition program.
I love that. Culture in Action is a great brand for the program. So I really like that. Now, Shelley, I think you were instrumental in the launch of the program. And it rolled out to how many employees there?
It rolled out to about 2,500 employees.
And then you've added groups as time has gone by, right?
Right. We've added our sheriff's office and our district attorney's office, our coroner's office. Everybody is super excited to participate in this program.
Shelley, why do you think you had such a successful launch and adoption of the program? Because we've seen some of the best ideas for recognition programs, maybe on paper, but then when it comes to execute it and communicate it and train and get end user adoption, it falls flat. But in your case, it was the exact opposite. It seemed like your culture embraced it from the bat, and you're seeing great usage rate across your organization. Why were you so successful in launching it and now sustaining such a great program?
Oh, geez. First and foremost, it was definitely the implementation team. We couldn't have done it without, getting everybody's buy-in and teamwork to implement it. And then it was a matter of our communications team marketing it. It was our IT team setting up the platform. It was your team really walking us through the entire launch and the whole implementation and process and the launch. We were able to train our managers and supervisors before we even launched the program, so they were familiar and were able to answer questions when we did launch. And then just you guys came in and you did an on-site training for us, and we had giveaways, and we celebrated the launch throughout our buildings and all of our mini buildings. And it just goes back to, we had just one of the best teams that helped us implement it and launch it. That's
fantastic. And your communications team definitely has a great sense of humor. I love the video that you recently created where you share some stories of recognition done incorrectly. And
right.
Then you compare it to how you do it correctly through your program. It's just fantastic.
Right. Yeah, that's a great video. I love that video myself. And it's so evident, since day one of meeting you and the team there and working together, just the emphasis and that you guys have not only on recognition and engagement, but well-being. I mean, I find you to be, from a government perspective, but any business could learn from you in that space as well, that you have a very robust wellness program there. I mean, I call it very advanced wellness. And that it's very well participated in as well. Is that something that just you feel comes natural to the people in that area, or have you had to grow that over time?
I think it's a little, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that one thing that our organization has done really well is, employed individuals and leaders who have very similar mindsets, in the sense that they are committed to the employees. I think oftentimes organizations are really focused on the customer, not saying that we are not. I'm just saying our employees are equal in that sense, that we are just as committed to our employees as we are the clients and the customers that we serve. And part of the reason is we can't do anything to help serve our community if we don't have the right people to help support those efforts internally. And so I think we've just been blessed to have leadership that really recognizes that and celebrates that. And so I think that's what helped us to be so successful in implementing these tools and getting that kind of buy-in from folks to participate. I think another thing that has been helpful is we've also, and you kind of alluded to it, is we've merged in some of our wellness incentives and some additional incentives. So not everything goes through our culture and action platform. So now it is kind of the only way for you to find ways to recognize. And I think that's certainly helped us be successful as well.
Right. And the employees, they really they really appreciated this, and they started using it right from day one.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love, when you think about culture in action, just all the things you do ties so well to that, right? Because wellness ties into that. I've seen some of the amazing challenges that go on there. We've supported those, and man, I couldn't keep up if I were an employee at Adams County, just trying to figure out everybody would be beating me over the head to stay healthy, and I'd want sweet tea and fried chicken. So that's what we do, in the South. But Kevin is a much healthier nut than I am. Kevin will get up at the crack of dawn and kayak and things of that nature. So he would fit right into some culture in action. But tell us a little bit now too about yourselves. Let's Shelley, tell us a little bit about like what role you're in now. What have you done there at Adams County, or what did you do before, and what kind of led you to recognition and engagement space?
Hey, well, I started my career in human resources in 1991, believe it or not, with the local government in Montana. And then I relocated to Colorado in 2003 and was fortunate enough to join Adams County in the human resources office 3 weeks after moving here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get a little bit of time off, but it didn't happen. So,
So you're 20 years coming.
I know. Yeah, I've been
Milestone.
employed here for 19 years, and our office is now called People and Culture Services. So, my title is a senior specialist, and my main position over the years was in recruitment for the county, and I also administered our formal recognition program and our tuition reimbursement program. And then in 2018, I was able to transition out of recruitment so that I could focus full-time on our recognition and rewards program and launching this program, the Culture in Action program, through your platform. And yeah, and it's been rewarding, to help build a culture of recognition within our organization. I've always kind of joked over the years, and Caitlin can probably tell you this, that I've always said that I had the best job at Adams County. I was able to hire people, recognize and reward people, help people pay for their tuition if they were going back to school. So every aspect of my job with Adams County has been positive over the years.
That's great.
And it's been a rewarding and fulfilling career. And I would recommend Adams County to anybody if they want a truly rewarding and fulfilling career.
Oh,
So
trust
that's
me.
just a little bit about me.
If I lived near Denver, I'd be working with y'all. There's no way I
We
could.
would love, we
that
will
team
welcome
there.
you
I
anytime.
love the place. I love the team. I love the area. I mean, you guys just have it, right? Like, to me, you're one of those, you don't always come across that, but you're just an environment that has it. And it's a place that makes you want to be there more when you go there. So Caitlin, what about you? Let's hear a little bit about your history.
Oh, goodness. So I actually I got my bachelor's degree in social work. So still have always had a desire to kind of help and support people around me. But I just fell into HR. And I know a lot of people kind of just fall into it a little bit. For a while, I thought I was going to go back and be a teacher. I was trying to find other ways to, help people. And I started with an organization in an HR role, and it just kind of grew and evolved from there. So prior to Adams County, I worked for a distribution company that did not have, we had a very simple kind of recognition program. And so as I actually was leaving that organization, I had just implemented a very similar kind of program launch where we had some tangible awards that employees could receive points for and redeem for. And so then coming over to Adams County, I was super excited to be able to help grow a similar program here, because I've always had a desire to try to recognize employees for what they do and for who they are. So my role now is the employee relations manager. So like Shelley, I get to do a lot of the fun, rewarding, like really positive pieces. Some of the other side of my job is a little bit more challenging, but it's a good kind of balance to be able to support and drive change in this role.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Kevin, you got some questions for our for our guest today?
Yeah, well, first of all, I was wondering if we could maybe work out a trade where we could trade Scott over to Adams County for a couple players to be named later.
For anybody else? Yeah, that's what he said, for anyone else.
We would love to have you, Scott. Did I mention
Thank
we're a
you.
hybrid
Thank
work
you,
environment
Caitlin.
now? You have some remote days and then a couple in office days.
Nice.
Yes,
From
we
a-
would love to have you.
From a
We have an
cabin in the
on-site health
mountains.
clinic, an on-site fitness center.
Oh,
Nice.
Do you like me
Kevin,
to
you shouldn't have said
continue?
nothing.
Yeah.
All right,
When I
wanna come
go
to that.
in January, I may not come back.
No, well, thank you, Caitlin and Shelley, for sharing just a little piece of your stories. I think one of the cool parts of being a part of this podcast, Scott and I have the pleasure of talking to so many talented people. And I'm always so fascinated and curious to hear people's journeys and their stories and their career paths. And you're certainly no exception. So thank you. Question I had, again, going back, because you are the All-In Award winner for Best Program Launch, which we're just so excited and thankful that you were, able to achieve that. We have 1,200 clients, and we launch a lot of programs every year. So this is a big deal, and you certainly did a lot of things right. But I want to kind of flip it on its head and ask you a question. Looking back, if you could launch your program again, what would you do differently?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. I know we can always do things better and differently, but I would have to say that we did all the right things. We had the guidance from your team, and we needed that to be successful. And I can't think of anything else that we could have done differently to have a more successful launch. Maybe Caitlin could think of something.
I agree. I don't know if there's anything we would do differently. I would definitely want all the same people involved, because I think the success of the launch was a direct reflection of the commitment of our implementation team. And when I say that, I mean, all of our support from CA Short, all of our internal support from our team, from the IT team, from our communications
You had a big team. You guys had a big team involved.
all the right players, and it was the right time to launch a program like this. I can't even imagine if you had somebody trying to launch this in the midst of a pandemic, but maybe it could be equally as successful. You just have to get a little bit more creative about how you engage people in the platform. But that's the beauty of this platform. It provides an opportunity to recognize employees for a variety of different reasons. You can customize it. We've partnered with some of our elected offices, which have the opportunity to change over every few years. And so that could be challenging. And so I think because we've created such a good culture and kind of created this foundation of recognition, any new leader coming into it will also have to have that same kind of baseline or foundation, or belief in the importance of recognition. Otherwise, their employees will hold them accountable to make sure that they're still able to participate in this program. So I don't know if we would change anything. I think we were fortunate enough to have all the right people at all the right time.
Right.
Sure.
I guess that one thing I would change is just a giant budget.
Oh yeah, we could have more money.
Pay more money.
I think
to
everyone
give
says that, right?
Yeah.
Everyone does that. We just had more.
like
more money.
more budget so that we could give out more points, and the sky's the limit. So that is one thing I would change. So
Sure. Well, you talked about a lot of things that we'd recommend, even starting from getting the voice of your employees. You talked about the focus groups and, hearing from them directly from the field. I think that's so important. Getting senior leadership buy-in, so important. Having an extended team to help with the implementation, the communication plan at launch, the training, and then the multiple initiatives too. So you're constantly changing up. You're giving people reasons to go to the site, to recognize each other. It's really a great case study, and we're very proud to be a small part of it. So very exciting.
Yeah.
yes, I agree. And launching, incorporating our other awards into this platform has been super successful as well. Like, the wellness, our Employee of this Season awards, our Employee of the Year award, and then other departments, they also have built their recognition around this platform as well. Like, they've customized their own team recognition, and they've included this platform. They give out instant award cards. So it's been super successful, and just being able to add and enhance to this platform has been wonderful.
That's great to hear. Because one of the things I also love about how you all manage your program is, you challenge us. Again, you're a fantastic partner because you challenge us, right, to be better, to bring new things to the table, because you don't want to be stale. Your program stays very fresh and very much in the front of everyone's minds, right? And so I love how you are constantly looking for ways to make culture and action even better. And we love going on that down that journey with you, because it's a great experience for all of us, and it's a growing experience as well. I think also I would say, if I could call out something else, I think you guys are also very fortunate that you had some good senior leadership support to get the ball rolling in those spaces. I think in any company, but especially, what we see in a government entity, is it's sometimes hard to get those players to really buy in to the investment of appreciation, recognition, and engagement, right? And I think as we've seen some changes of old guard, new guard, you're seeing more of that happen today, from school systems and universities to county and city governments. I just think that nobody does it better than you. So there's such a great model that you have to share out there. And I just think it's a blessing to get to work with you and your teams there. For us, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Oh, absolutely. One question I did have, I think there's a lot of power in names, and I love the program name that you decided on, Culture and Action, because it kind of speaks towards movement and momentum, and you have a very authentic culture there as well. It doesn't seem forced. It really does seem to be authentic. I'm just curious how you came up with the name Culture and Action.
I can take that one. It was going to be called ACE, and we decided that just wasn't what our goal. We scrapped that name right off the bat, and as our culture started to change in our organization, we thought we should include culture in the name, and then we wanted it to be, I don't know, like moving and growing. So that's why we called it Culture in Action. And we always want to be changing and getting better, and something that's moving and growing over time. So that's kind of how we came up with Culture in Action.
Love it.
Yeah, and I think
love it.
Going back to what Shelley said there too, is it directly is connected then back to like our mission and vision, right? So being an inclusive and innovative county and becoming an employer of choice, all of that is focused around our employees, but also continuous improvement. Within our people and culture department, kind of our motto or tagline, if you will, is being the best at getting better. So that's just that 1% each day that makes that difference. Like, just those small little steps are what helps you evolve, what helps you grow. And so progress isn't a linear line, right? It's not from point A to point B. It's like this wild, wacky spiral that's constantly moving. And while it's like weirdly, oddly shaped and all over the place, you're still moving and you're still growing. And so I think Culture in Action was the perfect kind of tagline for the program to be able to still support that in such, in those 3 words, it's such a meaningful phrase.
Right.
I agree.
It really is. So you said something I had never heard before, and I really like it. You said becoming the best at getting better. Is that right?
Yes. Yep. and I can't coin that. That's not my personal phrase. It's our director, one of our directors within our department over our culture services, Debbie Herty, is the one who kind of coined that phrase. So we
Yeah, I
want to
like
be
it.
the
We
best
might
at
need
getting
to
better.
borrow that
Yep.
phrase.
I love that. I'll use that with my kids tonight at the dinner table. That's a good one.
We
Yeah.
might need to borrow that. Yeah, use that here as well.
It's a good one, yeah, to keep
It
in your pocket.
is. It's a very, very good one. No, just what a wonderful program. It's super robust. I mean, you guys really have, you gave it a lot of thought, a lot of input. You built a great structure. Employees there can be recognized a myriad of ways. You have a lot of wonderful employee events that they're able to take part in, and contests. And like I said, wellness challenges, everything around the gambit. You are an all-in award winner. And I think you're probably in the running for some more in the new year. So we're excited to see where that
We're coming
goes.
for all the categories next year.
That's what
I
I
like it.
heard. They're gunning for it. They're coming for everything. So we're excited to kind of see that there. And so we do have a question that we'd like to ask all of our guests. So we'll take you one at a time. So whichever one wants to go first. But we want to know what, this is the All-In Employee podcast. So what does an all-in employee look like to you? How do you describe personally an all-in employee?
Oh boy. I can go first. This is a good question as well. So for me, an all-in employee looks like someone who values building positive work environments, who values teamwork, servant leadership, transparency, credibility, excellence in their work. Someone who values diversity, equity, inclusivity, someone who explores and embraces change and flexibility. They're committed to always getting better. And oh boy, I think they demonstrate respect, communicate and engage others effectively. They support and encourage others. They're fair to everybody. They're trustworthy, and they always do the right thing. And I think overall, I think it's someone who works really hard and reflects a true commitment to building a positive work environment and engaging in culture and recognition within their agency.
Well said. Okay.
I mean, how do I follow that?
How do you
right?
top that?
Ditto.
That was well done, Shelley. Well done.
Well, thanks. That's just for our agency. I just think that's what an all-in employee looks like to me.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that Shelley summed that up beautifully. And I think, somebody who's truly connected to the mission and vision of the organization. I think that's one thing that is so not only so important, especially to our organization, because we have the ability to drive significant change and impact in the community in which a lot of us live in. And that's super exciting to be a part of that and have that, have that opportunity. And so I think an all-in employee is somebody who recognizes the impact that they have. We oftentimes, in one of our other trainings, we play a video where somebody interviewed a janitor at NASA. Actually, it might have been JFK. Who interviewed this individual. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that video or heard that, but he said, "What do you do here?" And he said, "I help get a man on the moon." And so to have somebody so intertwined and so connected, like he recognizes the impact and the importance that he had in getting somebody successfully to the moon, right? They wouldn't be able at NASA to do anything if their environment wasn't clean and wasn't prepared for that. And so I think that level of connection is so important. And I think as leaders, we have a really great and grave responsibility to ensure that our employees feel that connection. And one way to do that is through recognition. It's the easiest tool that you have in your toolbox as a leader that can have the biggest impact and drive employee engagement. And so at the end of the day, Everyone just wants to know that they are valued, that they're respected, and that they matter. And so recognition is the easiest way, in my opinion, to do that. And it could be at $0. You know, we joke about wanting to have like this huge extensive budget. I would love to have that. But the reality is we don't have that. And so it could be a simple thank you or a simple e-card that makes the biggest difference. And I think that's what's so exciting about recognition, is it's such a simple lift, but it could have the largest impact.
Wow.
And it truly is a foundation of an agency.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about all employees. That was all-time answers. Both of you, Shelley and Caitlin, fantastic, and you're all-time guests too. Really inspiring conversation today. I've learned a lot just listening and talking to you. Really great stuff. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We hope to have you back. Scott, can we go ahead and reserve?
Yeah, we should, and then we'll talk about some more great subjects. And yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd
love to come back. We want you to come back
anytime.
Like I said,
these ladies are welcome.
Phenomenal
anytime.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us today. And like Caitlin said, you know, recognition, it makes people's day, and it you can pay it forward, and it'll have a ripple effect. And we're just really thankful that Adams County recognized the importance of that.
Oh, well said as well. Yeah, we're glad they did too. We love getting to work with you. I love personally getting to work with you.
We would never have met you otherwise.
I know. And Scott
thank
Hammer.
goodness we found you.
Thank goodness you found me. See, Kevin, I got a backup plan.
Okay.
I got a backup plan if my career goes south. I know where
Come
I'm
on over.
Hiring. Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies. And Kevin, thank you. What another great show in the bag. And I guess, you know, we'll see how this hot summer goes, but you're right. Let's not have a summer of disengagement. Let's engage your people this summer. Keep them going, keep them moving, keep them involved in what any kind of organization is doing, whether you're government, whether you're business, for profit. Let's get out there, engage, recognize, and get all in.
Yeah, absolutely. And one quick tip that we're doing at CS Short that's been really popular is just a simple gas tank giveaway. Gas prices are crazy right now. We're asking people to commute to the office. Giving away a tank of gas or two can make a big difference. So it's, again, kind of the smaller things that can make a big difference.
Do what you can do. That's right. We were very fortunate. We have a tank on site for our corporate vehicles. And so we just did something we could do, right? So I think get creative out there this summer, you know, try to figure out the things you can do. To Caitlin said, you don't have to spend a lot of money. It's all about what are you capable of doing? You know what, it's been hot here. We've had hot warehouse days. So, you know, I've run to the grocery store and bought ice cream sandwiches for the team really fast, right? Real fast so they don't melt, but real fast, get them back here in the fridge. But just, you know, the littlest things sometimes make the biggest difference. People just want to feel appreciated. They want appreciation in action. That's the next name. No, just kidding. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Kevin. Another show. And we'll see you listeners, or hear you listeners again soon. On our next
You'll hear us soon. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
So much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us on the CA Short All In Employee Podcast. Kevin and I will join you next time right here.